Hey guys, my name is Pam Peebles, and welcome to today's Midday Millionaire Mastermind series. And you guys are in for a real treat because when I say mastermind, we've got a brilliant man on with us today. My friend, who's turned into be a really good friend of mine, almost like a brother now, because when I say he's one of the most caring individuals, it just will tell you and share anything with you. It's truly what he does. John has been in the industry for, I think, almost 30 years, 20 something years, almost 30 years. And he's had his ups and downs, made a lot of money, lost a lot of money. But through it all, he's been able to have a ton of success, help a lot of other people, like he's helping me and my husband with growing our business. And welcome to today's, I think that's your feedback, John. Your mastermind
No,
series.
I'm on a headset.
Okay, hold on one second. When I say mastermind, we've got a brilliant man on with us today. My friend who's turned into. Okay. All right, we're live. So when I say that, I'm now remembering my own words I just said. So you guys are in for a really great treat because John is not only going to share with you how he's been able to build his skinny body care business in a relatively short amount of time and make a tremendous amount of money in this business. But he did what a lot of people haven't done already, which is build what I call a double diamond position, which means that his position is making double a diamond. Let me back up because I think I've had a little bit too much coffee today. Diamond in skinny body care, for those of you guys who don't know anything about skinny body care, it's a position within the company where on average the person makes at least $20,000 per month. Well, John has did something that a lot of people don't necessarily do in this business, which is very rare, which is both he and his wife are both diamonds in this company. And he did this within a very short amount of time. I'm talking a little over 90 days or right around 90 days. And so he's been able to come in and he shares all of his knowledge with everyone, not just people directly under him, but any and everyone on the team who wants to know. So he's a brilliant trainer, brilliant mentor, and he just has so much knowledge. And that's why I'm so excited to share this with you guys today, because the point of these millionaire masterminds are so that you get an opportunity to get access to people like him, to people like Tim. We had James on Tuesday, which we lost James. We had Pete last week. And get an opportunity to see how they think and how they got to the point that they are in their business where they've achieved so much success in their life. And I'm fortunate enough that I have an opportunity to be able to speak to these great individuals on a daily and weekly basis. But for those of you guys who are new or just getting your business started or thinking about getting started with our company, this gives you an opportunity to be able to meet them, understand how they think, understand how they were able to do it so that you can use the same tools and principles in your same business and have the same results too. So that's why we love doing these, so that you can see how someone got started and how they were able to achieve success, because whatever they did, you can do too and have the same results. So John, I'm going to start off by first telling you thank you. I know you were in China yesterday or Japan having sushi. That's an inside joke, folks.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and we're very excited to have you for a lot of reasons, and in a few minutes it'll become obvious to everyone. So I want to first start off by having you tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, I'm newly married. As people know, my stories is that I don't have any regular family anymore. Network marketers actually became my family because when I had the success and then lost everything because I picked up a drink of alcohol at 34 years old and became a raging alcoholic for 8 years, my family disowned me, including sons, brothers, mothers, all that good fun stuff. But right at the last tail end of my alcoholism, I got a Facebook message when I was up at my vacation home in Montana, and it was a girl that I had met when she was 5 and I was 7, and our mothers were best friends. And she had found me through some other friends on Facebook and said, I don't know if you remember me, but our mothers used to be best friends. And I said, yeah, I didn't like you. And we tried to rekindle our mother's relationship. She used to babysit for my little brother. and that girl had moved away when I was 13 years old, and she was 11. Her parents had gotten divorced. That girl today is my wife, Gina. We became friends on Facebook. She had been going through a divorce. And now her family is my family. So I went from having kind of no family because of my past and everything that I had went through to have this huge family with brother-in-laws and cousins and nieces and nephews, and it was kind of a culture shock because I didn't celebrate holidays for many, many years. After I lost everything and was in my alcoholism, I kind of avoided Father's Day, of course, and Mother's Day, and Christmases I spent by myself. And then all of a sudden to be around people that are calling me their son-in-law and their brother-in-law and sister-in-law, I mean, and do that, it was kind of a weird moment that I had to get used to, because I kind of became a loner and used network marketing as my family. And then to have a real family again was kind of different, even for me. And I pretty much can go through anything, it seems. But it's still, I think about it now on how different things are.
Well, John, I know that, one, I love hearing that because I think what we have that a lot of people don't have here in Skinny Body Care is we have awesome and amazing leaders. And I love your transparency because we had a few weeks back, I think, with the first Mastermind series that we did with Tim, where he disclosed some information about some things that went on in his life and with his family. I think it gives people an inside view of the road to success because a lot of people see folks like yourself and they just assume that one day you woke up and decided that you were going to become rich and you were going to become wealthy, and then you just kind of poof became that person. And realistically, there were a lot of things that you gave up and a lot of things that you felt at first. And so that's why I respect you so much, because you don't have a problem with sharing with people that you're not without fault, and that it hasn't been this clean road, and that you had a lot of failures and lost a lot of things. And that's what makes you a great man, because with all of the failures, you've had as many successes, but people can relate to you. A lot of different people can relate to you on so many different levels. That's why these things are so powerful, folks, because if you're someone who's been through some type of trial or tribulation or had something going on in your life, I said this about James on Tuesday. James was in prison. I haven't been in prison, so I can't even imagine what that's like. Some of these people who have had the greatest amount of success have had more failures than all of us put together. So I want you guys to really pay attention, because some of the things that John has been through, I can't even imagine going through myself, and I thought my life was hard. So I so appreciate and can understand where you're coming from, even though I haven't been where you're at. So I know that I said you've been in the industry for 30 years, but exactly how long have you been in the industry in total?
27 and a half years. I started at 19 years old. And, you know, you said something about waking up one day and wanting to be rich, or waking up one day. I did. Ever since I was a little kid, I did wake up and I was like, I used to see the big houses, and I didn't grow up poor. We grew up, you know, middle class. I found out, you know, I talk about it in my book a lot as well. I found out that really where the money was coming from, because we lived kind of comfortable and we never had a want for anything, was that my parents didn't have any money. My grandparents had money. And anytime that I needed something, because I was the first grandson, the first great-grandson, the grandparents would make sure it was taken care of, whether that was summer camp or anything. But, you know, when you're a little kid, you don't know really where the money's coming from. You just know that, you know, you're able to eat where you want, you know, and, you know, not that we lived in a mansion or anything like that. So I always I always saw the big stuff and the cars and the homes and the lifestyles. Even at a young age, I wanted to work. I remember at 10 years old, they denied me for a paper route because I wasn't 12, and I cried for a week because I wanted to make my own money. I was always trying out there, you know, trying to do something. And I'll never forget when I left home at 17 years old, I asked my dad when he found out I was leaving home, what do I have to do to make $50,000 a year? and we're talking 1985 when I did this. And he looked at me and he said, "You'll be home." And I never came home. I went on that year and did very, very well. The year after did well. And I built up. And so I always had that drive. But then it went to my head and I lost everything. And when I mean I lost everything, I mean I can relate to James, going to prison and jail, because been there, done that. A little less than 2 years of my life I spent locked up, and it wasn't fun. And then spent, several years in the streets, from homeless shelters to rehabs, trying to bounce around like that. And more importantly, it's kind of funny because a lot of the networkers that I run into now, because I had the success before that, the ones who found out that I had this huge problem and I was homeless, they're like, "Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you do this?" My ego stopped it. When I lost everything, it was in Dallas, Texas, where I was very well known. And my biggest fear walking around the streets of Dallas, Texas, was that I was going to run into somebody that knew me when I was panhandling. Believe it or not, that's what my biggest fear was. I was worried about what people were going to think. Years later now, I have some friends who are very successful and we're friends, and they actually had seen me the last couple of years of drinking. They're like, "We would have flown you to Hawaii to our house. We would have locked you up," even though I know it probably wouldn't have worked, because when you're a raging alcoholic in the midst of an addiction or an addictive personality, it doesn't matter how good the people's intentions, until you want to do something for yourself, it's not going to work. So, but it's good. It was a good feeling, know that, I did have people out there when I didn't even have my own family out there to be able to do that. So what I'm trying to really say is that, yeah, I've always had that drive from young, but I didn't wake up. Nothing was given to me. My parents didn't give me diddly squat. I paid for my own first wedding out of my own pocket. Never, anything, that from my parents given to me. They didn't have anything to give to me themselves. And then I lost it all, and lost even things I didn't have, and then built back up again. Because one good thing is, once you've done it, for some reason I got a second chance, a third chance, and a 50th chance. I don't know why. But once I was able to get past my crap, I'll be nice, I'll say that word instead, I was able to do it again. And, I've had addictions to everything. I'm addicted to business. I'm addicted to food. I still eat. I order everything in sight, even though I had a gastric bypass many years ago. That's just my personality. The only thing I haven't really got into is, crack cocaine and heroin yet. And, don't think I ever want to go those routes in addiction, because I don't know if I don't know if I have another chance to ever survive being addicted again.
Wow. Well, it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that about the ego thing. Years ago, when I had my business, I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and had a very successful business, and lost everything. I was in the real estate and mortgage industry and reinvested in a lot of properties, and lost everything, and had a bunch of employees, and was very successful and pretty well known in the area. And when I was losing everything, I kind of didn't want people to know what was going on. So I had a big house out in the suburbs and all that other stuff. So instead of letting people know what was going on, I did some of the craziest things looking back at it. Never told anyone what was happening. I just chose to quietly move out of the area while my house was being foreclosed on and I was losing stuff. I literally had an indoor yard sale on Craigslist. And I know my neighbors was like, "What the heck is she doing?" But it was just, my pride would not allow me to ask for help. And looking back, it was only stuff, and you can replace stuff. But it was something about not being able to share with people and being transparent, which is something I do all the time now, and actually make more money now as a result of it. So that was a huge learning experience, being able to part with not being too proud to ask for help and being too proud to just share the truth. The truth wasn't that I was really not truthful. I just didn't tell, which is, I guess, the same in a sense. But just being transparent enough to share with people your truth and not having any care about the consequences of what comes out. It's so freeing. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah. Matter of fact, I was going to ask you a question right back when you were saying it. I was so scared the first time I told my story. Now, of course, it's in a book. I speak on stage. I tell my story. The first time I told my story, and it wasn't on a Google Hangout because there were no Google Hangouts yet back there, but I think it was a webinar or a conference call. I got emails, messages from people, and I only told maybe 5 minutes. I didn't even get into the real details. People actually called me, text me. They found my number and saying, thank you for doing that, because you, to me, before, were up here and unrelatable. Because what you said before, like, we were born one day network marketers and successful. It brought us down to their level where we were unrelatable before. So it had the total opposite effect. Also, to my enemies who were spreading the rumors about me that John's dead and stuff, the first one that I ever did live on camera, about an hour before, someone sent an email to my friend saying, it can't be the real John Gillardi because he died overseas as an alcoholic and homeless. And that was how I started the presentation. But it not only is it free you, it gets past all the BS. People are in the same exact situation, and then they relate to you. They don't think that you're this porcelain breakable doll. I mean, you and I hung out with your husband Lamont, with Tim and everybody else. We were out at your friends flew in from Atlanta, and we hung out like that. If people saw us, we're regular people. It's kind of funny because whenever I do a webinar like this, my wife might be walking around the house and she'll hear this, and I have to make sure I have a clean shirt on or something. She gets me ready and she goes, oh yeah, the big shot John Gillardi, if they don't see you when you have a little cold and I have to take care of you and you're like a little baby, and it's kind of funny. We're just regular people. And that's what people forget. And trust me, I forgot it. When I had made that first money, I had an entourage. I had 30 people who used to follow me around. I had a personal trainer. I don't work out, that used to travel with me. I used to have friends who, when I went away, when the money was gone, they couldn't get any more. They were gone. And now some of my friends are family, and some of my family aren't even friends. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and I guess to answer that question, the telling the story, the first part, was difficult because you never know how someone's going to relate to it, but people responded the same way. They felt my business actually grew. I'd been struggling trying to get my business to grow online for a little while, and once I decided to stop hiding behind my business and just came out and became my business and became the voice of my business and just said, listen, this is who I am. This is what's going on in my life, and this is why I'm making these decisions, whether you like it or not. Things shifted for me in a big way, and I stopped trying to be what I believe people wanted me to be and just became myself. So it was really a really interesting time because there are a lot more people like us dealing with similar circumstances and situations that want guidance on how to get to where you're at. And so when they can understand and appreciate that, you didn't wake up successful, no one handed it to you, and that you just busted your tail to get there despite all of these other things. And that's what I love about hearing your story, that you lost it, you did this, you had that happen, but here you are now, a millionaire, and you've achieved all this success, and now you're pulling people up with you. The question becomes, why can't you do it too? So folks, if you are watching this right now, here's what I want to say to you. Take this opportunity now to get started with our company, to get started with this team, because you have leaders like John who are paving the way for us. We have trainings, we have calls, pretty much any and everything that you need in order to achieve the same type of success, as long as you're willing to do the work, because this isn't a free ride, but this is about showing you how you can achieve the same results, similar to what John has done, similar to what I'm doing as far as growing my business, and what you can do too by clicking on the button below and getting started. So John, here's my next question to you. You said you got started at 19 years old. Mm-hmm. What did you do before? Did you ever have another job? Because you've pretty much been in this industry all your life.
Yeah, I was in financial services, stockbroker in the insurance business. We broke records at the company called The Rock, which is the Prudential, and made a lot of money. There's actually a friend of mine on Facebook who we used to work together. And, I won awards there. I was promoted as, the youngest sales manager in the history of the company. And that's where I was. And so I was having success, don't get me wrong. but at 19 years old, when I was first approached on network marketing, which was the big A, who we all owe everything to, a guy that had brought another guy who was a multimillionaire, made $30 million, used to be a surfer. He's still in the industry today. But the guy who introduced me to him was a vice president of another company. He was about 3 years older than me. And he just said to me, listen, you're making a lot of money. Have you ever looked at other ways of making money? And I knew this guy was making about $350,000 a year at 22 years old. He was a couple of years older than me. And I said, no. I said, but if you're doing something, let's look. So he introduced me to this other guy. I ended up getting started in that company, and the rest was history. A couple of years later, I took a retirement disability because of my weight loss. And that was it. I've never worked in corporate America again. Well, actually, I don't know if you'd call it corporate America. I did work for Joe's Crab Shack when I was released from jail in the west end of Dallas, Texas. The store's no longer there. I was in a rehab. I was in a halfway house for, I was still drinking. They taught me in jail how to cheat the system and still stay drunk and have a place over your head. But I didn't have a way to do anything, and I couldn't go and do normal network marketing or anything yet. So I actually applied to be a waiter at Joe's Crab Shack. And I actually got the job and did very, very well. I was making, a little over $1,000 a week in tips. It was a lot of fun. And I actually did that not many, many years ago. We're talking about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, while I was still a drunk. Yeah, so that's when I got started. And the reason that I'm still here today, yeah, the alcoholism was there, all the downsides, but I was trained by the right people who did not take any crap. Okay, I'm going to keep using that word because it's nicer. These people were very successful in network marketing, and it was back in the time when there were less than 20 network marketing companies out there. I mean, to name a company back then other than Amway, Watkins, Fuller Brush, Shackley, I don't even think Pampered Chef was around, Mary Kay, Avon, Herbalife, Cambridge Cookie Diet. I can't probably even name 10 companies, let alone 20. There was no Facebook. So you had a lot of less distractions, and network marketing could be taught the correct way. And these guys taught me the correct way, and to tell you the truth, the first few weeks I actually made a lot of mistakes. I drove to North Carolina from New York right after work and got blown off 3 weeks in a row, and then finally my sponsor, I tried to three-way call him using two phones held together, because we're talking the 80s here. And it wasn't three ways like we're used to today. And I told my sponsor who I was about to try to get him on the phone with, the guy who blew me off 3 weeks, who's a childhood friend. And my sponsor said, if you try to put him on the phone, lose my phone number, don't ever call me again. And I'm like, well, you don't understand. This guy's going to be great if I could just get him in my business. He said, if you try to get him on the phone, there's millions and millions and millions and millions of people, okay, in the local area where you live. You live in New York. Okay, go find someone else. Don't bring his name up to me ever again. And for 2 or 3 days, I was mad. I quit the business. I basically said some things to him that I shouldn't have been said. And then I kind of understood, and I look back on how I got trained as in financial services by some of the good guys. Bob Proctor was one of the first people who trained me. I saw him when I was 18 years old. And it was for insurance, actually. And I looked at that, and I said, you know what, let me listen to what he has to say, and the rest was history. And if it wasn't for him being such a hard, that was just one of the ways he was an idiot to me back then, because that's what I thought he was, when he taught me like that. But there was a method to his madness. He had done it. I hadn't done it. I was a know-it-all kid. Don't you know who I am? I made all this money in financial services, but I still was only 19. But this was something I've never done. So I had to get past that, and that was, again, the ego coming out. And then I did that. I use that a lot now. Since I've gotten my life back, I am very hard on other companies. I'm very hard on distributors. I don't care. I don't pull any punches. And there's a reason. The network marketing industries became the wild, wild west. I talked about it on the call the other night. It used to be where people got in with a goal of making $1,000 a month, even in the 80s, $1,000 a month in a year or two, residual income from a real product with a real company. And they would be like, wow, that's amazing. Okay, then in 2 to 4 years, make $3,000 to $5,000 a month, and then 3 to 5 years, retire, whatever that is. These crazy thoughts now is that I've been in the company 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 2 months, and they're making $500, $1,000 a week, $200 a week, $150 a week. After 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks, that's not good enough. They haven't succeeded. Time to move on. That's not what it is. Okay, and that will never happen. If the money comes in fast from a network marketing company, it's going to leave fast. End of story. There's 13 legacy companies in the industry. Most of them are health and wellness, weight loss, and skin care. 2 of the products that we have at Skinny Fiber. Okay, end of story. Okay, when I mean billion-dollar-a-year legacy companies, now there's other companies doing hundreds of millions of dollars that are fantastic, that are growing themselves, but I'm talking the big boys, ones that will do over $1 billion a year with hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of customers and distributors, okay, that have passed the test of time. Those companies, okay, are there for a reason. Okay, you never, and you never will see another company that you see all over Facebook, and it's this, and everybody's jumping in anything else that will be the next legacy company. End of story. It's just not going to happen. If it's the hype, get in now, oh my God, look at this, paying this and that like that, it's just not going to happen. It's mathematically impossible, okay? It's business fundamental impossible. I follow people now like Warren Buffett and everything else, okay? If a business is built on smoke and mirrors, they might skate the odds for a while, okay? You might even be waking up in the middle of the night saying, how are they still here? They're doing this. Doesn't so-and-so see this or anything? And it'll boggle your mind. But it's like sitting at a casino and seeing a guy winning at one table for a while and you're losing and you're playing perfect blackjack. This guy's a drunk idiot over here and he's winning everything. Well, if you both sit there for long enough, okay, and you play perfectly, you'll win. If you play perfect blackjack, the drunk idiot doing wrong things, okay, odds are going to play out, and guess what's going to happen? Business fundamental and the odds in a casino are the exact same thing. Over time, they will play out, and you cannot beat them. End of story.
Yeah, you know, you said something really interesting to me, is the fact that most marketers who are in the business, who have been in for any duration of time, past a couple of years, they have what I call the stick and stay power. I think the reason that I've been able to develop that is because I've been self-employed for 20 years. So I ran an offline business and realized that, one, it took me tens of thousands of dollars to start it. And so coming in at $70 is nothing. So when I see people come in and after a month, when they haven't made this, you know, $1,000 or whatever ridiculous number they set up in their head and they're ready to quit, I'm ready for them to quit because they don't realize, one, what they have their hands on, and two, I don't feel like babysitting them. But on Tuesday we had James, who mentioned how the first company he was with 12 years ago, he made $45 for the whole entire year.
Yeah, I saw that.
and he's still around. And my question was to people that were on the page, how many of you guys would still be around 12 years later? It just goes to show that his determination was greater. And the same thing, you're basically speaking to an audience who wants to understand, how do you get there? You have to be willing to make an investment. We always tell people this is a long-term game. This business, it's long-term. You have to be willing to commit just like you would for your job. Most people are willing to commit more time to their job than they're willing to for their freedom. And I tell people all the time, this is what having real freedom is about. Is being able to not work and still make sure that money is coming in. It's something unlike anything else I've ever done when I had a traditional business, and you can speak on this because God knows you know all about having the financial freedom, is knowing each morning when you get up, no matter what you do, money is still coming in. It's an incredible feeling. I tell people the last couple, I've had some health issues I've been dealing with, and I'm going to have to take off for about a 6-week period of time in the next coming months to have some surgery. And one thing I'm not concerned about is how I'm going to pay the bills. And a lot of people couldn't take off for 6 weeks or even a week unless their job gave them some time off because they just don't have the money to do it. And so I just kind of want to elaborate on that because most people, they're so quick to quit when they don't realize that just like a job, you have to stay at a job usually a year before you get a promotion, but you're unwilling to stay and do this for a month or two to get to a point where you're making $1,000. So.
Well, and it's true, and you brought up James. I remember when James was talking about that the other day. Is my first check, okay? Now I've been in the industry so long that when I joined the Big A, we used to order our products from our upline direct. We used to go pick it up. The guys in my organization would call, order the products from me. We'd commingle our orders together. I'd order. Then we'd have a nightly pickup because they wanted you around them all the time. Well, my first month, they wrote me a check for 19 cents out of their checkbook. 19 cents. I didn't even know you could write a check for 19 cents back then. Okay. Luckily, we picked it up because it would have been, I think stamps were still more than 19 cents back there in the 80s. I think they were like 21 or something like that. And I was like, seriously? But they wanted you because it was a feeling of accomplishment. And I've heard that from a lot of other people in those companies. And don't get me wrong, it went on and it paid me very, very well. But financial freedom, I'm going to touch on 2 spots of that because there's a thing about multiple streams of income. Do I own multiple businesses myself? Yes. I've been doing this for 27.5 years, and I didn't have multiple streams of income until I had multiple commas in my checks, and I had a stable business that I could go away for 6 months, and my checks were bigger when I came back, and I never spoke to anybody. Okay, that's when I picked up multiple streams of income. There's no such thing as multiple streams of income in network marketing that go hand in hand and hand in hand with 50 of these if you haven't had any success in any of them. And I'm saying getting a check for $196 one time is not you've arrived. Another thing that I touch upon, because you hit on it, is financial freedom can mean 2 things. Financial freedom, okay, built on a house of cards is not financial freedom. I see all these companies out there, oh, why would you want to build a team of 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people when in my company, okay, you only need 88 people. I probably shouldn't have said that exact number. You need less than 100 people to get a check of $300,000 a year, $25,000 a month. Well, I can tell you this. I have more than 88 to 100 people quit my businesses every day. And if my $300,000 a year income in that other business was based on 88 people, okay, first of all, I shouldn't be able to sleep at night very comfortably. My wife isn't, because your business, that's not a business, okay? If your business is reliant on that many people to make that much money, okay, then that's not a stable business. If you look at the businesses in the Walmarts, why does Walmart put so many people out of business? Because they make fractions of a fraction of a fraction of a penny on millions and millions and millions of customers, okay, per store. Okay, that's where the money is. Because if somebody gets mad at Walmart and boycotts Walmart because they might have bought a product that deals with animals and some people for the ethical treatment of animals doesn't want you to go shop there, they're going to lose a segment of their customers. Is it going to put Walmart out of business like the company's trying to do? Absolutely not. Why? Because people are going to come and go. I can tell you this, in my neighborhood here, we have dry cleaning services that pick up and drop off and everything else. We get coupons literally from 5 or 10 places a week to try to get our dry cleaning business. Believe it or not, there's a lot of money in dry cleaning. Well, if they're worried about one, okay, customer based upon that, and they're going to charge exorbitant amounts of money, those dry cleaners I've seen in the area go out of business. The ones who are catering, okay, who are offering to get the most customers for the best value at shirts at a reasonable price are all of a sudden 1 location, 2 locations, 3 locations, 4 locations, and everything else on multiple customers. Not big ticket that they're looking to swing for the fences on a couple of customers and make their home run. Why? Because people are going to learn over time and they're going to be gone. So You want a business, okay, if you let Skinny Body Care's, for example, compensation plan pay out, okay, it pays out very, very powerful. Okay, now if you built one leg and that's the only leg, can it pay you some good income and replace a lot of stuff as your organization grows? Absolutely. But over time, if you go wide, rank up, go wide, rank up, go wide, rank up, and you use that formula, okay, and you let the average as time plays out, after 6 months, the averages that you see Skinny Body Care post is the averages that you're going to make the money. And that's where financial freedom comes from. Because once you have an organization, 10,000 people, 5,000 people, 2,000 people, you're still going to have a percentage of the people quit every month. People are going to move on. People are going to say the product did work for them, didn't work for them. You know, some people take the product, never try it. Some people say, oh, I want to try this. My wife, you know, we're going to try this product over here. So people are going to quit. Okay, but if you're making $1 here, $5 here, $2 here, and you're making the matching bonuses and everything else, over time, your incomes can grow to be exponentially huge and skinny if you give it time. Okay, and time is not 30, 60, 90 days. You know, that's not time. And maybe in today's age of network marketing, people think that's time, but
well, that usually the people who quit, they don't understand it. One, I say it all the time, even for people who I'm talking to now. There was a time when I got started a couple of years ago because I didn't know and I'm still learning. So I talk to you a lot, and then I talk to Tim a lot because I want to learn from the best, and I consider you guys the best in the industry. And I always say, okay, well, I didn't know. So I ask the question, I say, well, I didn't know because I've never had mentors to teach me in this business. I've just kind of been like, you know, ignorance on fire. But I want to learn because I'm here for the duration. I'm here with Skinny Body Care for the duration. But, you know, a lot of people come in and they do expect, they see people like yourself making a tremendous amount of money, and they think that it's going to happen in 90 days because there are a lot of unscrupulous people who will put out there that you can make $10,000 in 30 days or 45 days. And I always say, you know, quick money goes away quickly too. So can it happen? Well, yeah. And I always say, be careful who you allow to mentor you. There's a lot of people that make six figures: pimps, prostitutes. You know, we can go down the list. Do you really want them mentoring you though? So you ask yourself, are these people that you would want to hang around? And I can really go there on that, but I'm going to be polite about it. But you know, do you really want these people mentoring you? Are these people that you want to hang out with outside of just making money? And you guys are a great example of human beings that you want to hang out with. And I won't go into a lot of details, but I've hung out with you guys, and you guys are just good people all around. You care about people. You want to see people succeed and win in life. And that is just as important as seeing people make the money financially, because the money provides options and opportunities. But a lot of people won't tell you how to have that money long term. Most people just want to make a quick buck off of you, and we've seen a lot of that going on lately. So I appreciate you explaining all that, because people want to get involved in 4 or 5 different things, and I'm like, you're not even making $1,000 in one thing. Just stay put. So,
I mean, I understand people are going through hard times, and you know, I've been there, and it clouds your thinking because you have to get your bills paid. But when you see these other companies, it doesn't matter. There's 10,000 terrible companies out there that are just doing things. If a company, you know, a dollar can only be paid out $1, and if you're paying out $1 and the company's not making any money, then that company's not going to be around. If you're paying out $1.50 on bonuses and this, well, guess what? If you're paying that out on less customers and, you know, more than money than's coming in, well, that means money's coming out of somebody's startup fee to pay you that money. Trust me, I know compensation plans. I do compensation plan consulting. I know what breakage is to the company. All the numbers when you see those types of things are based, if they're not a rev share model, but if they're in a regular so-called compensation plan, it's based on breakage to the company. Okay, there's no way to calculate exact breakage because you don't know exactly how many people are going to renew their monthlies or whatever you're paying. And when you calculate breakage, it's an approximation. Most companies account for 60 to 85% of breakage. That's their window, not retention, breakage. So the numbers that are paying, if everybody did pay, okay, and it would break the company. And the thing is, it's never happened because people are fickle. There's a company of the day, there's a company the hour, the company of the week. I mean, it just happens, and that's fine. Some people, trust me, all I cared about was getting my next drink when I was homeless. Okay, I was really good at panhandling. I was thinking about network marketing it with a couple of the people that I was homeless with, because we were good at it. But when you look at what their focus is, my focus was to get alcohol. People's focus now is to get paid. They don't care about long term, and you can see it. It's unfortunate. If you look at the old school network marketers, the ones who have been around for a while, okay, that have lifestyles that you've seen for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, okay, that have houses, they have real estate investments. They do the network marketing now, okay, to support their organization, okay, and because they love it. They don't do it for the money anymore. They can go away for 5 years. They'll still be making $200,000-$300,000 a month. I know people in Vegas. I know people in Florida that are doing that. Been with their company for 20, 25 years. They have organizations that were destroyed. I remember there was one company that my buddy is the top dog in. He's been in that company going on 30 years. He's made $87 million. And in that company, when a time happened, a lot of the top networkers left that company several years and almost destroyed that company. There was front-end loading at the company. The company had to reinvent themselves. This guy did not leave when all these people left, and he rebuilt. And now he's one of the legends in the industry, hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate paid for. And all those networkers, some of them are dead. Some of them are in their, early 80 years old. They've been in 50 companies since then. Some of them more, broke, came to us at other companies these people were legends in the industry, people that when I was first getting in, I was looking up to, and they destroyed their careers. And then when you look at the ones who now I model myself after because of my stupid decisions that I've done, I said, that's not what I want down the road. I mean, I'm going to be 47 years old here in January. I do this now because I love to do it. I go to a lot of events for a lot of companies, speak for other companies, and I just love it. I don't want, and it's unfortunately to see some of these people down the road, and when we're 75, 80 years old, and they've been in, all these other companies and in being financial hurt. So a lot of people take what I do and the way I talk to people, and I'm such a hard, I guess I could say hard ass to a lot of people, is because I'm sick and tired of the games. I'm sick and tired. If a person wants to ruin their own life, that's fine. I'm going to tell them. But if they start trickling out and their habits start going to other people, that's when I start getting mad, and I'm going to let people know the truth. What they do with it from there, they're adults. We're all adults. They have to be able to do what they have to do. But it's time for a wake-up call to go back to what network marketing was formed on. Work 3 to 5 years and retire. What is retire? That doesn't mean make $1 million a month. If that's your goal, great. Okay? That's fine. But if your goal, like I say, is to bring a spouse home, if to send your kids to college, is to take more vacations, okay, that's what freedom is in 3 to 5 years. If your goal is $1 million a month, well, great, it's $1 million a month. But I can tell you this, okay, if you look at the lifestyles of every network marketing jumper and this that you've seen on the internet, go back on their timeline and show me their lifestyle. Show me their lifestyle for the last 5 years, and show me the homes, and show me the trips, and show me whatever that they're doing, and show me all of that, because it doesn't happen, okay? And that's really pretty much a barometer for the whole thing. Not that I'm saying you have to go travel and do this, but the way that they talk, they don't do anything, okay? So they're not succeeding. They're putting on smoke and mirrors, and that's where I get really upset with people in the industry. And you'll see me use the word nonsense and clown and a lot of things like that, because I'm very passionate about it, and I just said enough is enough. And I can take the hits. So I can be very vocal when it comes down to it, because I love the industry. The industry was my family when I lost everything and came back to it, and I owe a lot to the industry. And it's unfortunate when I see people, destroying it, because it's a lot different than it was even 5 years ago. And I mean, you see it daily as well. So I'll get off my soapbox here right now.
Well, I honestly don't think it's a soapbox. I think it's good for anyone who's watching who's new to the industry, or even for those who are in the industry, because again, we get a rare opportunity when you get a chance to get behind the scenes with someone like John, because he does have so much experience, to hear kind of what things were like back then, because I'm 2 years in, so I wasn't in 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I can't even imagine getting a 19-cent check. So those are things that I've never had to deal with, even though, I did work for, a long time and not even make any money. So I totally understand being in that position and not doing it. But for a lot of people, I don't think they understand that it does require dedication, it requires commitment, and it requires not being all over the place and not getting so caught up in trying to get quick, instant riches. Because in real life, it doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that at your job. It doesn't happen like that in the lottery. It doesn't happen like that in anything. But that if you're willing to put the time in, you're willing to make the commitment, you're willing to be focused, and you're willing to do what's necessary. And I say it all the time, be coachable. Because a lot of people, they're not willing to be coachable. They want to do what they want to do and then hope that they're going to get the same results as someone else who's making $1 million. It's just not going to happen. So I think hearing the truth from someone who's had the highs and lows and experienced these things personally is good stuff. So I'm glad you're saying it. I like hearing you saying it. A lot of other people may not, but I do.
Hey, and I gotta tell you one thing, because you just brought something up, and before I forget it, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
You know what the biggest direct selling company is?
No, I don't.
Okay. You know what it was last year was Avon. And they were surpassed this year by Amway. Now, they were close. So Avon was over 10 billion and Amway was about 8 something billion. But Amway passed Avon. Now, have you ever seen an Amway funnel, an Amway advertisement? Now, I'm not talking about TV. I'm not talking about Amway branding themselves as a corporation. But I'm saying, do you see distributors and tons of Amway groups and tons of Herbalife groups? You might see magnets on cars and stuff like that. Look at the legacy companies, your New Skins, your Melaleucas, your Amways, your Mary Kays, if you look at, Avon, okay, Tupperware, you look at those companies, they're not internet marketing companies. They're not push a button, make money, everything else. They have systems that teach people about their company. They have trainings that they do in private. They have ways to get people interested. But along with that, they do traditional ways of network marketing. And that's the great thing about Skinny, okay? And the reason that we came over to Skinny is because we like doing internet marketing. For the internet marketer, it's great. And what really proved the system to us is that you have people in the company that we've met, people like Courtney and that you've heard their story, who didn't have any network marketing experience, didn't have any internet marketing experience, being thrown out of their house. We're talking 15 months ago, who made $400,000 last year, being able to use the system that they have. But then, if they want to, they have the traditional ways of building the business as well. And one good thing is that Skinny gives all those systems away for free. And if we want to improve on them, we can do that too, because Ben lets us do what we want. So if you look at traditional business, okay, there's been 50,000 network marketing, direct selling, all these, whatever title you want to do it to. Why are there only 13 that have ever done over $1 billion in 1 year combined? Not cumulative. Okay, those numbers are a little bit off. So it doesn't matter what you say, the next billion-dollar giant or anything else. No, it's not going to happen. Okay. Is there going to be another billion-dollar company down the road? There's going to be more companies that are billion-dollar companies down the road. Okay, the ones who get it right. Okay, there's no internet marketing funnel for Coca-Cola. Okay, I don't order my Coca-Cola online for the most part and come through because I was interested in the funnel. I might get into one of their contests for internet marketing as one of their extra things. But if I want a Coke, I buy one at a stadium. I buy one here. I buy one when I'm at a flea market. I buy one when I'm at a restaurant or something like that. Okay, I don't push a button and say, hey, please send me my Coke or something like that. Traditional marketing still works. Okay, and the companies who embrace traditional marketing and use also internet marketing methods that have mass customers with a product that you use up are the ones that win. End of story. It doesn't work any other way.
Agreed. And the thing is, folks, is that, well, I can tell you this. One of the things that I've done this week, because I built my business online, is I've just recently ordered a ton of offline marketing materials, postcards, flyers, business cards, things that I traditionally hadn't done in the past because I didn't deal with physical products, because I feel like this is a product that needs to go to the masses, and the masses are not all online. A lot of them are offline. Case in point is my husband, who, funny thing is, he can't respond to you guys when, like, you and Tim posted something on his page. It took him about an hour to even say, how can I respond back? Because he's the only person I know who has 200 real friends, and he knows all of them on Facebook. And so because he doesn't use Facebook, and he's not a person on social media. But offline, he's been handing out flyers and things like that like crazy because that's his domain. So I agree with you, and it sometimes takes a different perspective. So for those of you guys listening, great point. Jot this down. You don't have to do everything online. These companies have made millions and millions and millions of dollars for years, and they exist. And you don't have to be this online guru or online expert in order to make your impact and make money. So that's a great point for bringing that up, John.
I ran into a distributor when we were in Vegas at another network marketing company. They just happened to be there. I saw they came up to our resort that we stayed at, and I think I was waiting for Tim and Pete downstairs, and it was an Herbalife, and it was in Spanish. There's a very big Hispanic community in Herbalife. They work their butts off. They've done unbelievable jobs, and it was a fairly nice car. So they ended up talking to me for 5 minutes. I was waiting for the guys to come down, and I'm like, "Do you build your business online?" They go, "No." I said, "Do you have Facebook groups?" They go, "We've never been on Facebook." And I also know that some of those rev share companies that got shut down recently out of Brazil and stuff like that were very big in the Hispanic market. And I was like, "Oh," I said, "Did any of those companies hurt any of your business?" And I mentioned the two companies, the one with the Z and the one that says, something free, and they said, "What's that company?" And I'm like, "You never heard the one that was called a $1.4 billion Ponzi, and the other one $800 million Ponzi? It went very big through the Hispanic community." They go, "No, we've never heard of it." And I sat there for a second, and I said, "Okay, wait a minute. This guy's making about $50,000 a month. That's about $50,000 to $55,000 a month. He doesn't have a Facebook account. He's got stickers on his car, okay, for another network marketing company, his company. Has never heard of Zeke, I'll say it, or Telex Free, okay, and he's making over $500,000 per year, and he's been in his company about 4.5 years. Wait a minute, that's impossible, because that you can't build your business like that. Well, absolutely. You know why? He's not distracted. There's a lot of other people out there. He went to work, and now he manages his business and takes care of it. Matter of fact, I met an Amway guy when I was at an event about 4 months ago in San Antonio. He's in another business, a tool business, and him and I were talking. He's a diamond in 2 countries, not even a diamond here, and he's just he's got huge incomes in that company and doesn't build it online. And I look at that. Certain programs, okay, you can build online and stuff, but with Skinny Body, it's not hard. I mean, I have to give a shout out to Charles Dyson. If you saw his video yesterday, Charles Dyson did a live video yesterday. He bought 1,000 postcards. He actually posted it in the Skinny group, and he was in the streets of Atlanta walking around. And I don't know what happened, but he posted that he met one lady, came up that her and somebody wanted to lose weight. But I watched the video. I don't know what came about that, but he's like, "Listen, I'm not putting these cards in beauty salons, and I'm not putting them in restaurants and pizza places and stuff. I'm giving out 1,000 cards to people's hands and talking to them." Okay. Yeah, is that going to take them a couple of hours to do? Yes. But if you get a distributor from that, or you get a business partner from doing that, and you're willing to take the time, you're going to have a much stronger organization. Because if you're bringing people only in through social media, you don't pick up the phone and everything else, hey, great, you can get people on the tour. We are all for that. Get them to take the tour. Let the system do its work. Let systems do their work. But after they're in, pick up the phone and speak to them. You know, when they friend message you on them. Now, yes, I built my wife's organization, and she's gotten a lot of friend requests, people saying, hey, you're my, my upline, my sponsor, I need help. And my wife, God bless her, but she couldn't explain the comp plan because I build her site, because it's just like Tim builds Chiquita's business. We build, our spouse's business. But go out there and do it. Now, if somebody joins up and they don't want anything and they want the product, hey, love them as a customer and stuff like that, but reach out to them. If they reach out to you, say something to them. And if they say, hey, I want to blow this business up, make yourself available to them. I still do three-ways, okay? I still do three-way calls. My time's in a lot of demand. Make sure that that happens, okay? I have no problem doing it. Matter of fact, when I joined the business, I made Tim do my three-ways. People are like, well, why do you need help doing it? Because Tim's the crown diamond. And I was just starting out my first couple of days. I got on the phone, edified Tim, and got my prospect on, and they did it. As a matter of fact, the call that was done with Pete Delmonico, who broke the record, okay, he hit platinum the day after me, and he broke the diamond record at 42 days, okay. The three-way call I did was with Tim Miller, okay. So, okay, and Tim hated every minute of it, okay. And I made Tim's like, Tim does three-ways all the time now because he understood that my group in the last 5 months, you're going to do three-ways to do it because we'll get them on the tour. We demand that they've been on the tour, they look through the back office, get on the system. Okay, we're not just going to sit there with somebody who's never heard of Skinny Body Care, didn't take the tour, and is Sally Homemaker, and she doesn't even know anything about the company yet. But once they went through that, then utilize your upline. Okay, and be a master at the three-way call. Also, I posted that in the group yesterday. Learn it inside and out. When you're not there to edify your prospect to your upline. Okay, your prospect might walk on water. You touch upon that a little bit, and that's fine and dandy. Okay, you're there to edify the person you're bringing on as the expert. Okay, to your prospect. Okay, the prospect doesn't have to hear how great he is to himself. Once you do that and master that, you do not say anything. Let that take over. And if you do that traditional stuff, you'll have a much more solid, loyal organization, and your organization will flourish. But you have to give it time to flourish. You have to give it time to flourish. It's not something, hey, I'm not rich in 6 weeks, I'm gone. If that's what it is, don't even start. If you're watching this and you're saying you're going to put in the best 6 weeks of your life and you're going to put in a couple of hours a week and you better be making that $5 grand a month, no, it's not going to happen. Okay? It's not going to happen.
Agreed. And I'll throw this in for any of you guys who have a team. If you're not part of it, you need to join now. And the reason why is because of what you're watching. But for any of you guys who are part of Skinny Body Care and you have a team, you need to make sure all of your team members watch this training because it's really about to get good. All right. So, Tim, I mean, John.
Yeah.
No, John, I know this question is about to go to say, who signed you up? And I said, I know who it is. I said, I know who it is.
My sponsor, Tim Miller, he's the
right. That's what I was about to say. I already know that.
Number one cowboy fan. Tim Miller is the number one cowboy fan in America. Tim Miller is the number one cowboy fan in America.
So I know who your sponsor is, but I was going to ask you for the record, who is your sponsor?
Tim. Technically, Tim put me in the business and put me underneath somebody with it. But the way Skinny's comp plan is the way he did it, is that it doesn't matter because if your sponsor is not doing anything, a lot of people say, I don't have a good sponsor. Well, I don't really use Tim anymore. I don't, do any of that. But if you in the beginning I did. But if you look above in Skinny's comp plan, if your people in between you, if somebody's on your 5th level and they're a diamond and you're up here and that person's the first diamond in the organization, that's like having a diamond personally sponsored to you. Because the way that Skinny's comp plan, which I'm not going to get in, but the way that the generational code match works, which is not done in companies, and that's where the power is, if you let it play out over time, Okay, if you let it play out over time, it's not a 6-week thing. Okay, if you let that play out, you can have somebody on your 5th, 6th, 7th level that's almost, just like it's personally sponsored to you. It doesn't matter that you see customer in between customer in between customer, customer, customer. Doesn't matter. Doesn't affect you. I work with people that are on my 3rd, 4th, 5th level. We broke 5 diamonds last month and 25 platinums when Ben was running the special. I can work with basically all of them like my personals. There's a group right now that just came in from Canada in the last week who have ties in Indonesia, Brazil, and everything else. And I think they're on my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th level technically. I do Facebook chats with them. Unfortunately, I've been trying to do some 3-ways for them, but they call me at 3 a.m. my time. I'm already sleeping. So Tim actually handled a couple of those calls for me the other night. And it's a team. And that's really all there is to it. Yeah, you want to get people on the tour. You want to get them to do that. But then you want to do other forms of marketing. We just started a co-op. We're testing it out. We got some great numbers the first week. Where we have signs that are put on the sides of the roads, and they pick them up, put them out. But that's just other forms of marketing. Some people got sales the first week, on the product, on the weight loss, and some people got a lot of tour takers on the biz op side. But you got to do everything. Once you get people loyal to this product, let them listen to Courtney's stories and stuff like that. Okay, just sitting on Facebook all day long and looking at the screen and not going and following the way, if you want to build it on Facebook and things, but not actually following what's being done on Facebook, just sitting there and talking to 2 or 3 people and chatting and liking posts and posting a picture of a cat, you're not an internet marketer. Okay, you're not an internet marketer. Even these internet marketers are out there who made $20,000 or $25,000 in the last 12 months or 9 months. They made that kind of money, but they've spent $10,000 because you're not an internet marketer at that point. The term is thrown around. Well, what do you do? I'm an internet marketer. No, turning on Facebook and just talking to one person a day, or checking your emails, that's not an internet marketing. The people who built their business on Facebook, you see, I can't turn my computer on Facebook without seeing Kerry Lawrence's, her come up in my newsfeed. I mean, it's one after the next, a recipe, or people like John Hammer, recipe, and this, and this, and this, and this. Am I going to do it that way? Absolutely not. Okay, that's not the way I build my business. It wouldn't be comfortable for me. But if you're going to try to build it that way, follow the people who are doing it right. And again, it's not going to be an overnight success. People have to see you're consistent. It has to be the right time for them. It might be that they couldn't fit into their dress for a wedding that they're going to or something like that. And that one post will come up at the right time. They're not sitting there waiting to see your post every day. It's when your post meets the right timing that it'll come together. And the only way you get that is by consistency and persistency. End of story.
Agreed. And one thing about it is a consistency. I think for a couple of years, I was struggling to get my business off the ground, and then all of a sudden, it seemed like it just hit and it took off. But it really wasn't that it just hit and took off. It was all of the years of me being consistent, people seeing me, them seeing all the work that I was doing, and then joining me because that opportunity and that timing was right for them. So I agree. I tell people always take imperfect action consistently instead of trying to be perfect. Just do whatever the heck you need to do right now, even if it's not perfect. People will do something right now and then they'll stop for like 2 weeks and then just say, well, it didn't work. I do something every single day regardless of whether or not people sign up or not. I'm still working my business every single day. So that's how you end up getting to the point where John is at. I'm just going to be totally honest. He's doing something every single day without expecting that you're going to get rich by tomorrow.
Hey, I'm learning stuff. I can tell you this. I've been staying up a little bit later at night. I used to be the 4 or 5 a.m. networker. Trust me, I did that. Building overseas, and when I did all that. Now I go to bed between 12 and 1, sometimes earlier, but I'm up early as well. But Crystal Taylor, okay, people know Crystal. She rocketed up there. She's one of Pete Delmonico's. She is an internet beast. Now, don't get me wrong. I have big followings on Twitter and many accounts and Instagram. I don't use them. I used to do a lot of Twitter marketing. She is a beast, and she does YouTube, and she does this, and I don't do it. I'm not that type of marketer. Mine is from 27 years of relationships, 27 and a half years of relationships. Crystal has been teaching me something. And people are like, one thing now, I don't have that ego anymore. Okay? I watch courses. Crystal says, you should be doing this, this, this. And you know what? I ask her questions now. Crystal, as a matter of fact, messages me all the time. And she's telling me what's going on in her business. She'll ask me a question. But when it comes to Instagram, YouTube, and this and this and this, I ask Crystal, listen, I'm good at what I do in my part. I'm not stupid enough to not go to somebody who's good at what they do there, because she built her first business, okay, and sponsored almost 3,000 personals into that business. 3,000. Okay, her goal is to sponsor half that amount here, okay, in the next 2 years. Half that amount 2 years, because in this comp plan, it's game over. No one's came 1/5, 1/10 of that in this business, as far as for business builders.
Yeah, and the thing is it's a totally different business. You don't need nearly as many people. I did a lot in the previous business that I was with as far as sponsoring people, but you don't need nearly as many people. That's why I tell people you want to sponsor as many people as you possibly can, but more than anything, this is really about building relationships, because it's a personal journey with people losing weight. So my question to you is, what makes skinny body care different for you?
Real simple. It goes for everything that I want to see the network marketing industry become again, or what it should become again. If somebody, like I go back to saying, if somebody calls me about a company that you need to be in this, it's the next Facebook, it's the next Twitter, it's the next YouTube, it's the next Apple, it's the next this. No, it's not. Those are established brands. They don't have a comp plan attached to it, okay? And everything that you see in the world does not have to be a network marketing company. This hat, we don't need to start a network marketing company about this hat and add a comp plan, okay, just to make money from it. So that's number one. Number two is, when I'm approached about a company, I want to know how long they've been in business, because most likely they're not going to be here in 2 years. Okay, so that's one of my first, questions about a company. Once I see that they've made it, okay, and almost went out of business, and see companies that have struggled and reinvented themselves and survived, those are the companies first that would get my attention. Something that has a consumable product, okay, that people are having success with, something that has a low cost of entry that the average person can do, okay, something that has a great comp plan. Now, you'll hear me say it all the time. There's no such thing as the best of the best of the best. A comp plan, I can tell you all the bad ones, okay, very easy to spot, okay, but a comp plan, okay, can be up there in the best category, but it has to be best for the person as well, okay, because your techniques of marketing with the comp plan may not work with my techniques, because every comp plan has to be worked different. If you listen to me before, I said with skinny, you go wide, you rank up, you go wide, you rank up, you go wide, you rank up. So basically, if you look at a Christmas tree, the bottom of a Christmas tree, go wide, then rank up, go wide, rank up, and every time you do, because the money in skinny is made in the match. Yeah, somebody can make $1,618 in the matrix if they stick around and the world's a perfect place and everybody falls there. And the average distributor after 6 months makes $600, but that's not where the money is, okay? But if people stick around long enough, that's where it is. So comp plans that have generational code, meaning that you're not blocked, that you're getting paid a little amount plus matching on lots of customers, with a product that works, that's where it is. Another thing is the stage of a company. Once a company goes through their trials and tribulations, their growing pains, and they've made it, and they had to work out payment processors, they had to work about international shipping, all that stuff, then, okay, and only then can they go into the 4 stages of a company, because most of them don't get out of the first one. The 4 stages of a company, and I posted it in the skinny group, is formulation. Most companies, you never even hear of them past that. They might get a viral pop for a month or two, and then they disappear. But formulation, and then you move into what's called concentration. Concentration is where people are quitting and Other people are joining. That's where it's not momentum, okay, but it's where people are like, I'm starting to see more of this. It's been around for a while. What if? And then people are starting to join. And then still people are going to quit. But then once you get past that, momentum starts to kick in, where people figure it out. The company then starts to expand. International markets start to come on board, and then momentum comes for 3 to 10 years. And we're at the beginning stages or at the ending stages of concentration. We haven't hit momentum yet. Momentum will take us through 50, 80, 100 million, 200 million, and then through that part takes us to $1 billion, legacy company. Then once you get to that, then you hear about the legacy companies who are in stability. Stability goes through where the company not so much levels off where growth, but the company is stable. The organizations are coming in. New products and services get added to companies' comp plans. Enhancements come to the comp plans. And then, you're talking companies at that point with stability are between 15 and 25 years old. So Skinny, we're now 43 months old, started January 20th, the day after my birthday, 2011. So a 3.5-year-old company, coming into momentum here in probably the next 6 to 24 months, where that will be the entrance phase into that. That's where the big money starts to be made. Okay, and the people who ride out that wave, that's where the long-term money will be made. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Was really my next question is, I ask this to everyone: how has Skinny Body changed your life? I know you've been in the industry for a while, but Skinny Body, of course, is a different type of company. So what has it done for you, and how has it changed you as a person being involved with this company?
I'm seeing more people succeed straight across the board. And what I mean by succeed is I'm not talking about people making $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month. I'm talking about succeed for weight loss, liking the product, people getting their eyes open to the way things used to be, and getting people into a company that's going to be around for the long haul. That's how it's more changed my life. It gives me more of a voicing. Don't get me wrong, I'm making a lot of money in Skinny, okay? Well, my wife does as well. Did that change my life at all like it does for other people? No. That's a benefit because I've been in the industry for quite some time. But I'm seeing people in my organization losing weight. I was talking about Crystal before. She's working with young teenagers now that have diabetes and weight problems, because that's one of the untapped markets. I was a fat kid when I was young. That led to super obesity where I end up being, 650 pounds. I had the weight on 30 pounds. Luckily, I didn't get diabetes, but that led when I got older to gaining 80 pounds per year and waking up one day at 650 pounds, and then having to have a gastric bypass. So I'm seeing people get healthier. One of my best friends, Pete Delmonico, losing weight. I see people all the time losing weight. If not for nothing, and Skinny didn't pay me any money, okay, and people lost weight on the product, I get satisfaction for it, okay. And that's key. But I see average people. I get more a kick out of somebody who's never made money in the industry. This is maybe their first company, second company, and they get a check for $152, and they're excited about that. Then I get where a leader comes in who's gotten one check in his history for $3,000, and they've been in Skinny for 2 months, and they get a check for that same $152, and they call me up, and it's a 3-hour conversation. Why am I only making $152? I can't get rich here. I'm quitting tomorrow. And so my more satisfaction is not with those people. It's with the little guy who's getting in for the right reasons and can see the long-term vision of the company, not the little short-sighted people.
Yeah, and what the thing is that it is a long-term. It's a long-term project, just like anything else. People, I say this to people, and maybe they understand it better this way. When you get married, you're not getting married for a month. When you move into a house, hopefully you're not moving there for a month. You have to look at this the same way. For people who've never owned a business before, first, if you haven't joined our team yet, make sure you click on the link below and get started today. we'd love to have you as part of our team. We'd love to have you as part of this journey. We're here for the duration. And I tell people all the time, going to the event in Vegas, I believe I saw the birth of what is going to be $1 billion business of the likes of Amway, Avon, things of that nature. And I believe even though it's been around for a few years, that it's really still in its infancy and just getting started. And I tell them, even without me not having the years of experience that you have, that I believe in the next 2 to 3 years, many, many, many millionaires are going to be birthed in this company. And I say multimillionaires because over the next 10, 15, 20 years, people are going to be making multiple millions of dollars per year from what they're doing right now. But you have to get started. So click on the link below, join the company, and make a commitment to yourself. That's the most important part, that you make a commitment that you're going to stick and stay, because this is not a quick fix, just like anything else. Losing weight, getting married, starting a business, none of it is a quick fix. But we're here for the duration, so know that. So.
And we're not perfect.
No, it's not a perfect business, but nothing in life is perfect.
There's no perfect business. Skinny Body Care is not perfect. Okay, Ben Galinsky is not perfect. I am not perfect. Pam's not perfect. Lamont's not perfect. Tim's not perfect. Pete's not perfect. Guess what? Okay, no business out there. I've seen them. Okay, there's nothing as a perfect business. Okay, the thing is when people think that they're perfect, and if there is an issue, they don't address it. Okay, when you don't have a perfect business, which nobody has, whether it's a brick and mortar business or a network marketing business, when there's a problem, okay, you address it, you see how you can make it better and change it. That doesn't mean that the company is going to change something in 1 hour after you make a suggestion, to customer service. Trust me, if that was the case, I'd be on the phone with customer service 24 hours a day, because I could tell Ben how to change this company 1,000,000 times, okay, because I'm very opinionated, okay. But the thing is Ben listens. Ben knows that this needs to be changed to get to this level of a size of a company, and then this needs to be changed to get to this size of a company, okay? And if an owner's not willing to do that, then we don't look at those companies. But a company that says, you know what, I like that, let's see what we can do. I mean, 6 weeks ago, we weren't doing these millionaire mindset. Well, I forget, I'm even on it, I don't even know. Pam started this. I remember the first one I was on it, I was watching it, and Tim and the whole panel were on it. Pam started this so that the whole company could partake, because if you notice, you can put your link in there. Everybody in the company can partake in this, not just Pam's organization, not just mine, not just Tim's, okay? So the whole company can use and benefit for it. She didn't say mine, mine, mine. Guess what? She saw a need. She said, okay, I want to do this for my team, but I want the whole company to benefit as a whole, okay? And lo and behold, she's been doing this die hard for week after week after week. And I know that she's had some health issues that she was there, and she's still doing it. And she doesn't have to do this, okay? So that's the kind of family and team. That's what you want when you're looking for a company, okay? Period.
Well, thanks. And it's honestly, it's been my pleasure. So I find them informational, because being able to have these conversations, what I have next to me all the time is Notepad. So I'm always jotting down notes and going, got to do this, and my Notepad today is like full. So I gotta go back and translate the notes to something that looks better. So 2 more questions I have for you, because I know it's getting a little late, but I knew this one was going to go past an hour. My first one is, how did you build your team? I know everyone wants to know that, because not everyone's going to be able to do exactly what John has did, but you guys can, I always say, pick 2 or 3 things and then just stay focused on them. So John, let me first say, is an experienced marketer, so you've heard from him, almost 30 years experience, so don't even try to compare yourself. It's just not going to happen. But listen to what he says and then pick 2 or 3 things and then stay focused and committed. But John, how did you build your team so quickly?
Mine is more that I've worked with a bunch of people in the initial one. I called them up. I said, we're looking at this. I want you to take a look at this, and I think it's something that we're going to run with. I've been approached on weight loss companies, and one of the things about Skinny is people know that I've been approached by every weight loss network marketing company and non-networking company to be a spokesperson for those companies because of my severe weight loss, because, you know, losing almost 500 pounds, but I would never do it. I did not lose my weight on Skinny, and everybody knows that. You know, I have people see my profile picture before Skinny Fiber, and they, oh, are you building this, that, and that MLM company? I'm like, no. They go, well, why is your picture like that? Because I lost the weight, but it wasn't with a network marketing company. So I reached out to a handful of people. I've personally sponsored 33 people since I joined Skinny. Out of those 33 people, I think 15 of them quit already on me. 7 of them are actually building a business. 7 of them are actually building a business. When we jumped in from those 7 people, now none of them are friends. Okay, I mean a family. They're all friends, but none of them are family because I don't approach family, of course, because you heard that at the beginning. And then we jumped in making 3-ways. When I start a business, is what we started doing with Skinny is getting people on the tour, picking up the phone, and doing small conference calls, and we were doing them in the beginning of Skinny.
John, can I tell you real quick?
Sure.
Because you just made a point that's so huge, real quick, and I don't want this to like go away because I want you to elaborate on this. Listen, guys, John, say this one more time. You sponsored how many people? Because 33. Okay. This is blowing my mind because, and Tim just pointed this out on the page, that it's 6 months average to get $20,000 a month income. But I want you guys to hear that, because I want you to understand that, one, I've sponsored, and now my head is going, I got to spend some more time working with my people, one. But you didn't sponsor 1,000 people. So I just want you guys to really hear this. When I say he's not even dropping nuggets anymore. He's dropping gold bricks. So pay attention. Go ahead, John. I just wanted to, they needed to hear that again. 33.
Myself, 33. Now, some people know some of the people that join my team, and these people destroy. There's one individual who sponsored what I sponsored in one day, okay, more than I've sponsored in my whole time. And don't get me wrong, so some of these people are on my first or second level. So a lot of these people, I went after people who had network marketing experience because I have that. You know, so I was able to do that. But even with whatever people want to say, John is really good or John is, no, I'm not, okay? I sponsored 33 people. I have 7 people building the business personally straight to me, okay? Straight to me. Now, some of those people have 10 or 15 and 10 or 15 and 10 or 15, and that's fine, okay? But myself, I'm not a big recruiter, but what we do, okay, is, and people like Pete Delmonico and Jennifer Merrill, and, you know, you can ask, you know, the people that I work with all the time, even people like Crystal Taylor, who's came in the last 2 months. Crystal doesn't do the so-called 3-way phone call. I didn't hear Crystal's voice till the first time till Vegas until I met her. Crystal does the 3-way chat, where Crystal has somebody who's interested, adds me to the chat, sometimes adds Pete to the chat, who's her sponsor, and then she says, what has Skinny done for your life? She edifies, this is John, this is Pete, here's what they've accomplished, they're my upline, they support you, boom, boom, boom. We go in, we speak for 2 seconds. If I'm not around, one of them covers it. She likes to do it that way. But I do it through 3 ways. So my first 2 weeks in the business, the first week I was here, and if you go look at my timeline, the second week I was in Arizona, and I hit platinum when I was in Arizona. I think it was in the 13th day. And it was all from 3 ways. I was even doing 3 ways when I was in the car. When I was in Arizona, we were there for a wedding. And that's how I built my business. The first month was hardcore 3 ways. You know, people know if they get into business, call me with a 3-way. Call me with a 3-way. My prerequisite is they must have taken the tour, they must have looked at the comp plan, and they must be asking me questions. It's not, is this a pyramid scheme or anything else? The video and that could take care of that, okay? I want to go on with people like that. Use your upline what they're good at. If you have a woman in your upline and she's a brick and mortar person, call her, contact her, and say, listen, if I have a woman in the business who has some of your traits in the business, I'm going to use you for this. Go to your upline and find out who in your upline, what they're good at. Are they a good network marketer? Are they good this? Are they a good mother? Are they building this with 5 kids? And then use those people, okay, like a rifle. Don't call me up with a lady who has 10 kids and say, hey, John, this lady really relates to you because she has 10 kids and stuff like that, and she's bogged down and she wants to know how to build a business. I'm not going to relate. Am I good as a network marketer? But I'm going to talk and go over her head. Where if you brought somebody on the phone, let's say like a Sonia Wilson who's got 13 kids, okay, who's a diamond in the business, okay, and Sonia was your upline, and guess what? She would relate to her a lot better, okay? So you want to use people the correct way.
Listen, I'm still over here jotting down notes. I was hoping you kept talking. First of all, for those of you guys on the page, on our Dream Team Hangout page, how many of you guys just drop some notes on our page? How many of you guys don't want this Hangout to end besides me? Listen, John, one, is such an unselfish person because the information, when I said he was dropping gold bars, I mean, he's dropping them by the tons. I mean, thousands of dollars of information is being shared with you guys today. First thing I got, and I just posted it on our page, was literally, and I'm reading Tim's now, when he said 13 is active. I've been sharing that story with everyone. Literally, you don't never know who's going to come in, but the first thing I immediately got, which I posted this the other day because I'm having to shift some things in my business, being an online marketer, I'm learning from both John and Tim, who I've built, I'm starting to build this really close relationship with because I haven't known how to build a business, but this is what this is showing me, and I hope you guys, this is your big takeaway, but I'm going to tell you this, because this is like my huge takeaway, is that I've got to, which I've been working on, going back to basics. Going back to basics is building my relationships deep. So as many people want to come in, you're welcome to, but work with the people who want to do the work. So Tim just posted on our Dream Team page that he sponsored 300 people, and only out of that, 13 of them are active and 5 are building. And he's made a couple $1 million. So what does that tell you guys? It tells you that, one, not everyone's got to be in your business. So 5 of them are building. Out of that 5, I'm part of that. John is part of that. And probably a lot of you guys are watching this. So do you need to have 1 million people in your business to make $1 million? Well, Tim, you're watching as you tell us. Do you need to have 1 million people in your business to make $1 million?
Not in this comp plan, you don't.
No, exactly.
When Tim told me how many distributors he had in his organization and what he made in it, and Tim and I had been friends for a year before I asked him these questions. When he told me those numbers, and I'm like, I've put more people in another business in 3 months than you have in your whole organization. And the thing is his income's stable, and that's what you want in network marketing. And when he told me the numbers that he put in over 300, okay, with 13 active, I was just like, wow. And to tell you the truth, I just didn't, I didn't think Skinny was a bad company. I was just like, I'm not doing any stupid pink bottle. I used to go to my post office box, and somebody would leave cards, and I used to see that thing when it first started in 2011 when I was building my other company. I see all these stacks of cards, Skinny Fiber. I see people with it on the side of their car with black cars with skinny pink writing, and I'm like, look at these fools with this skinny. I mean, and I saw guys driving the cars. So I'm just like, man, I said, I've seen Mary Kay reps that are males. I said, now you got these skinny reps and stuff like this. And then I'm at a meeting in Dallas, and I meet, Tim Miller, the Crown Diamond, and he told me what company he was with, and I was like, oh yeah, I've seen that stuff. I'm like, and this is the guy behind it as the Crown Diamond, and we just became friends and never prospected each other, but it did give me more respect for the company as a whole, because I saw that, he told me a little bit about it, been in the company for that long, researched it a little bit, and then I didn't give it another eye. I didn't really look too deep in it. But every time I saw Skinny Fiber again after that, it had a little bit more credibility because now I kind of put a face with the name of a company. And that might be, Tim's got people in his organization who have quit Skinny Fiber 3 times and they're back. Okay? They went out. They went into that dark forest out there of network marketing, and they got chewed up by a wolf. And they got chewed up, and they came back. And for some reason, again, they lost their mind and they went out again and they came back. And one good thing is, keep coming back because we'll be here.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that's the really cool part, though. It shows the longevity, and sometimes it takes that. My sister, it's really funny. I had her on the Hangout last night, and I'll tell you a couple quick stories because I know.
By the way, while you're saying this, Pam, I got to grab my charger because I just looked up at 3% battery.
Okay, that gives us some stall time. My sister I had on the Hangout last night has watched me kind of build what I'm doing for the last couple of years. It wasn't until we had an event maybe about a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago, and Tim Miller came out, and she kind of heard his story and heard kind of similar thing of putting in 20 hours and working and doing whatever was necessary and not dealing, not bringing in family members and kind of mirroring my story of how he got to where he's at, except for he's making way much more money than I am, of course, but that she fully understood what was going on, and it intrigued her. From there, she came to our Vegas event, and something clicked for her in Vegas, and it was like the next day when she came back from Vegas, and I wasn't feeling well. Next thing I know, I'm getting messages from her, and then next thing I get was a message from Vegas, from Karen, and she signed someone up, and then later that day she signed someone else up, but she had been in for 2 months and hadn't signed anyone up, but for whatever it was, it clicked for her. And like with my husband, who has watched me do this for 2 years and was just kind of like, oh yeah, do your thing, babe, I'll support you. And then all of a sudden he came back, and now he's this crazy man wanting to put out posters and flyers and calling me and harassing me every day and has no clue how to get on webinars and wanting to get on the Hangouts. Like, he keeps texting me now going, how do I see the Hangout? Because he doesn't know how to use any technology because he don't want to miss the Hangout with John. And I can't respond to him because he literally, when I said he can't even get on Facebook, he can barely get on Facebook. So, and he keeps texting me. It's the funniest thing. He keeps sending me messages. So 2 beasts were created in Vegas because they saw something there. And not only did they see something, but they got a chance to hang out with you guys and see that, you know what, these are real people. And they build friendships. So I tell people all the time that it's not just the money, it's the relationships. And the relationships are just as important as the money, because the thing when you make a commitment, and I was talking to someone the other day that I was doing really well over another company, and I made a conscious decision to come over to Skinny Body Care because I am here for long term. And when you're talking about being at a company for the rest of your life, I'm 43 years old, so we're talking 10, 20, 30 years, 40 years. You got to like the people you work with. John was talking about us hanging out and going to have dinner because John is about 20, 30 minutes away from me. John's my sponsor. If I don't like John, the last thing I want to do is hang out with him and his wife. Tim is coming in town next week, and we have something planned for him because it's his birthday, and then we're going to a football game. Well, you can't do that if you don't like that person. So, it's real important to be able to have mentors around you and people who support you in your business, who not only want to make money with you, but have fun with you and going to tell you the best things for you, even if sometimes those best things are not what you want to hear. And when I got on my sister before and I would tell her these things, I think she just thought I was being hard on her. But now that she's been around you guys, she goes, I get it. I totally get it, and I see why you were doing it that way, and I see why you said I had to do the work myself and that I just can't do it this way, because she understands that we're talking about longevity, and longevity means wealth. And it doesn't mean getting a quick check. And for those of you guys who are watching, that's what John represents. He's hard sometimes. Really not to me. I just laugh. It's really entertaining to me because it's all truth. But for some of you guys who think he's hard, he's really not. What he's doing is he cares about us. And the information he's given is so that you can take care of your families, not just this month, not just pay your car note this month, but that you can go and physically go and pay cash for a car. One thing I'm learning about this industry is you'll have a lot of people who tell you that they love you and they care about you, and that's just as long as you're paying your auto ship. Just before we got on this hangout, we were talking about the cost of this and certain things, and I was saying about stacking money, and I've been talking to John about different things, and you can tell the sincerity of what he does and how he cares about people, because he's once been where I was a few years ago and where I am now, and he understands what we're trying to do as a couple as far as building up our resources and making our business grow. So, John, I want to ask you one last question, and that is, what advice would you give to someone who's just getting started or thinking about getting started in skinny body care?
take a probably two. I got to answer that in two ways. First of all, if you decide if you're in Skinny Body Care, if you're looking to join Skinny Body Care, I'll answer it two ways. If you're in Skinny Body Care already and you're not growing as fast as you want to or anything else, I want you to take a step back and I want you to have a come to Jesus meeting with yourself and really look at what have you done to build your business. Really. I talked about it at the Mastermind that we did in Vegas on Sunday before after the event was over. Do you know your business? Okay, I'm not talking about what we talked about before, going on Facebook. Take a real look at your business. What have you done with your business? Have you put time and effort? Now, if you've been in the business 2 or 3 weeks, okay, then you know that's not really a barometer, okay. And then if that's the case, what I want you to do is start over. I want you to take everything that I've said on this webinar. I want you to, first of all, go through, figure out what you want to get out of Skinny Body. Figure out how much time you're willing to wait to get that from Skinny Body. Okay, notice I didn't say put in. Okay, how much time will you wait? Okay, is whatever your goal, whatever your why, whatever else is it worth to wait a year, 2 years, 3 years, especially if it's big enough? Then, what are you willing to put in? Once you got that, are you willing to put that time? Because it doesn't matter if you're not willing to wait, you know, to have delayed gratification. Okay, if the number's really big, then it's not even worth starting. Now, once you do that, once you say, okay, I'm willing to wait, I'm willing to put this much time, then what you need to do is get with your upline and figure out, okay, exactly what you have to do 5 days a week, 4 weeks a month, because you're going to have to take some time off, okay? Now, I'm not saying 8 hours a day, 5 days, but maybe it's 1 hour today. You say, I'm going to put in 20 hours per week, divide that out for the days of the week that you're going to do. Once you have that game plan, now you know how to have your business tracked and what you have to do from there. You need to put in X amount of gold packs. When Pete Delmonico hit 42, me and Tim Miller were clowning. We didn't do it in person or on a phone call. We were clowning on Pete when he hung up. He goes, "Did you hear that? You know, Pete's your best friend." And Pete's telling me that he's going to hit diamond in this. I said, yeah, I'm trying to be nice to him, but there's no way he's going to hit diamond. And me and him are going back, and then about a week before, we said, you know what, he might actually do it. And he had it broken down. If I only put in 22 gold packs a day for my team, and I got these 5 people working, that means they got to do 4, and they got 2. That means each one of those people just got to do a gold pack per day, and we hit their goal. And that's how we did it. And then the Dysons did the same thing for platinum, and they hit double platinum. Now, if you're looking at Skinny Body Care, okay, and you're not in yet, you're lucky. Because now when you get with the person who invited you to this webinar, you know exactly what you need to ask. I just did your 48-hour training. When you get with them, you want to know what their skills are, when they're available for you, and if they're not going to be relatable to you, do they have an arsenal of people, okay, which they do because they have an upline as well, that all of you guys can work together, because nothing is going to make them happier, okay, than to see that you're serious about the business and you come prepared. So if you say, I'm willing to give this business 3 to 5 years, I'm willing to put in 20 hours a week other than when maybe I'm on vacation, and here's what I want out of this business in 3 to 5 years, and I'm willing to do it, let's go. Nothing will be happier to do that. Now you ask them, what do I do? How many silvers, bronze, platinums, how many people in my organization do I need every week? How many do this? And if they don't know, tell them to get their upline on the phone and who does know. And if their upline doesn't know, get them on the phone. And as you meet all those people, write down what they're good at. Say, I don't like this guy because he smokes a vape. So that guy, John Gillardi, he smokes a vape, and I don't want him doing my thing. I relate more to this guy in my upline. Whatever it is, but take notes. So now you know, coming into it, what it is. It's a business, okay? It's not sign up and like, man, 30 days later, how come I'm not making this amount of money and stuff like that? It's a game plan, okay? There's a system, there's a method to the madness. What are you doing to build your business? Okay, going to pick up your skinny fiber order and putting a label on a bottle and stuff like that, and ordering brochures that sit in your dining room table with a label maker and stuff like that. Guess what? That's not building skinny fiber. Okay, it's a money-making activities. What are you doing? Getting out, being uncomfortable. Charles Lyson went and walked the streets of Atlanta. Okay, he went out and did something. Okay, that, you know, now I probably wouldn't have walked the streets of Atlanta because it's hot out. I probably would have went into like the mall or the parking lot there and walked around to those people where I could go in some air conditioning. But he's hardcore, so he walked around. It wasn't really that hot yesterday, but so that's what it is. Treat it like a real business. But before you do that, are you willing to put in X number of time? Are you willing to wait 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years for whatever your goal is? You know, if you say you want to be making $100,000 per month and you say I'm willing to wait 3 months to get it, 6 months or 12 months, guess what? Don't join. Ain't happening. Okay? But if you say I'm willing to put 3 to 5 years of work in, 20 hours a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, 4 hours a day, whatever the math comes out to be, for 3 to 5 years to make $100,000 a month or $1 million a year, guess what? That's a realistic expectation. Okay?
John, you know, I think everyone else is like me. We could just sit here and listen to you for hours. So, one, again, thank you for being so just giving. I think the last hour and 40 minutes has probably just really opened a lot of people's eyes. You were saying so much stuff, I had to just stop taking notes and just start writing down the time that you said it so I can go back and just watch the replay over. So I was writing down 1 hour and 23 minutes, 1 hour and 36 minutes. So I can just go back and just get full version, but it will remind me exactly where I need to go to get that note. And then for those of you guys who are watching, this is the type of leadership we have. We have amazing leaders in this company, and you get to be a part of it. What I love most about this company, and I've said this over and over again, is that regardless of where you fall, who your sponsor is that everyone so graciously shares on this team. So it doesn't matter if John isn't your sponsor. I'm lucky because he's actually my sponsor, so I get direct access to him. Plus, he lives here in Atlanta. But if he isn't your sponsor, you get access to this information, and that's what these Mastermind series are for, so that you can hear what goes on behind the scenes, hear how someone like John built his business, hear how he was able to strategically build a business for not just himself, but also his wife with just 33 people. I mean, that in itself has me sitting here going, okay, I've really got to sit back, because I've definitely overthought this whole process and go back to even beyond the basics of what I thought and replaying my whole thought process of how I'm going to get to diamond status in my business, not just diamond, but double diamond, and follow your footsteps. So I'm literally going to be harassing you over the next week. Not even just me. I'm going to give him a matcha number, and he's clueless. So it's really going to get bad. So we're really going to be on a different wavelength of trying to build this business, and hope a lot of you guys will as well too. So John, thank you so much just for sharing your wisdom. And I think we could probably just keep this going for another hour and a half, just asking questions and letting people post questions, because no one wants it to end. You are just giving, kind, generous, and a great example of what can be done when you put your mind to it and you're just dedicated and committed to the outcome, because literally you've achieved so much success. It's just really ridiculous of what can be done. And this company, I just think I always say it's like the perfect storm, right place, right time, right opportunity. Would you agree?
Yeah, it is. You know, and if you give it a chance, and that's the big thing. And we got to take network marketing back, because Skinny can pay you whatever your dreams may be. I mean, you see it. They're not the Lamborghini and Rolls Royce and, you know, butlers and lifestyles of the rich and famous. You know, they're the get free. Okay. You know, you look at the car that we have up that, you know, that Ben's given away. I didn't even know about it until I got to Las Vegas, and when we were there, we saw it, and I was like, oh man, it's probably going to be a pink Lamborghini and stuff. You know, my old way of thinking back there. Okay, could Ben do it? Yeah, Ben could go buy a pink Lamborghini tomorrow and put it out there and do all that stuff like that. Okay, but you know, that's not the kind of company Ben. You know, it would go against. I can tell you this: if somebody bought a pink Lamborghini, okay, it would have to be somebody else twisting his arm to do it, because Ben's about paying off your mortgage, paying off your debt, getting $1 million or $2 million in the bank in the next 3 to 5 years, and being free. Then go do whatever you want, okay? Not having, 15 cars and mortgage and stuff like that, and going buying 55 Rolex watches and stuff like that when you're new into the business. I've been to Ben's house. It's a nice house. He's got a regular abode. He lives in a nice place, paid cash for his house, okay? And he's a family guy, okay? I didn't pull in. I knew there wasn't going to be. Is it a gated community? Yes. Were there Lamborghinis and Rolls Royces and stuff like that? No. We went in his car. He put us up at the hotel, picked us up in the car, and there was, his kids, hang out in the back seat, and there were some toys and stuff like that. I almost banged my leg when I got in and stuff like that, and the car needed a wash and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I start laughing. He goes, "Sorry about that, bro." That's what he said. He goes, "But my kids hang out in the car with me," and that's it. He's a regular guy, and that's what it is. You wouldn't. I mean, if you met Ben in the street, okay, he's not a flashy guy or something like that. He wants people to win in the company, and like I said, is he perfect? Anybody? Absolutely not. But he's willing to listen, and that's what's important.
Yeah, and you know what? I think, John, you are as well. Tim is as well. Before Lamont met all of you guys, I was telling them how I said you're really gonna love these people because I was talking about you guys so much, and then when we came back, you guys were talking to him so much. I was like, hey, what's going on? I got kicked out the equation. But just a bunch of really great guys. So thank you guys again, and thank you so much for making me feel welcome into your family, into your team. It really means a lot to me being kind of the new kid on the block, and just for everything that you guys have done and are doing for me. I really appreciate it. And guys, again, if you have not joined our team yet and you're looking for not just a place where you can make money and help people, but a place that you can call home and build a business for the long term, then this is the place you want to be. So make sure you click on the link below. Whoever brought you here today, consider it the best day of your life, because moving forward, you have the ability not only to change your life physically, but financially as well. This is a company that I'm calling home for a very long time, and I think you can see now from this last hour, 45 minutes, almost 2 hours, this is the reason why. We've got great leaders, great information that you're going to be able to get access to, and you won't want to go anywhere either. So another thing, we're moving our Midday Mastermind series. Actually, it's going to be an evening series to Tuesdays at 8 p.m. so that we can have more times. Daytime is kind of a short window, and we don't want to restrict it to 8 o'clock to 1 hour. So when we have people like John on, that if it needs to go an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, we can keep the party going. So our next series will be on Tuesday. We're going to move it to Tuesday. It'll be once a week at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. So our next Mastermind series will be on next Tuesday at 8 p.m. We're cutting out Thursday and we're moving it to Tuesday at 8 p.m. So we'll see you guys on next Tuesday for our Millionaire Mastermind series. It won't be a midday, but it'll be our Millionaire Mastermind series. We'll have new marketing material, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. John, thanks so much.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. I hope everybody got stuff out of it. That's all I try.
Are you kidding? Thanks, John. We'll see you guys later. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye-bye.